Hello fellow woodturners, and welcome to another episode of The Naked Turner. Today I'm going to be turning a piece of Osage orange. It's a small chunk of it that was a small chunk of a longer piece that was sent to me by my uncle all the way across the states. So here it is. I'm going to try to turn it into a small canister, and we'll see how it goes. This is my first time turning any Osage, so hopefully it goes well, and you guys can watch and see how it turns out. Oh, that's right, and don't forget to read, understand, and follow all the safety for the shop tools that you're using, and especially keep your eyes protected. And when turning, it's a good idea to wear a face shield. Alright, one more thing that I want to mention before we start turning is I've put, hopefully you can see this, I've put a little crosshatch with my bandsaw for my spur drive on my lathe, and then I've put a small hole for my tailstock cup center, and that way this wood is feels pretty dry, and potentially it looks like it could be brittle. I'm not sure because I've never turned it before, so I want to avoid any splitting that might be caused by the wedge of my cup as well as the wedges of my spur drive. Here it is. Alright, between centers with this roughing slash detail spinning out. Safety. Yep, looks like a pretty good split. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens with this. It's going to be a relatively small canister. Switching over to my skew, 1 inch by 3/16. Alright. Yeah. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a big split right here. I may just end up stabilizing it with some CA glue. All that. Good right there. Hardly needs any sanding at this point. It's so smooth spot here. I think I am going to put a little bit of CA, a little bit of zip kick and CA right down into this gap here. So right here. Kind of let that ooze down in there for a second. Now it's oozed down in there a little, and I'll be applying a little bit of zip kicker to kick that off. And there it goes, activating and hardening. Just going to ever so lightly yeah, there's a fairly healthy split in this. I sure hope it stays together, because it does look like a beautiful piece of wood. And there we go. Oh yeah, it's got a really really nice finish really fast. It's a very hard wood, so. All right, there we go. Forming the cap for this. Just moving that out of the way a little so I can visualize where I want to go through this. And now what I want is my narrow parting tool. Get rid of a little of that. Okay. Alright, so I've just made the tenon here for the lid. And I'm looking at this piece and it does have a fairly substantial split, but it seems like it's been mostly dealt with by the CA glue. So I'm going to keep turning here. Good, now leaving a little shoulder here. That's as far as I'm going in there. Here it is with a little bit of finish on the top. I'm just about to part that off and then I'll start hollowing this out. Okay, I'm going to part the top off now. Okay, oops, sorry. Sorry camera, backing that out. Alright, now moving the tailstock. And then coming in here, put a tiny bit of a chamfer on this end. Okay, and there's the lid. I'll do a little finishing on that, sanding the nub off and put some more finish on it, and that's ready to go. Okay, now we'll change camera position. Alright, so I have my chuck on with the Forstner bit, and I'm going to be hollowing this out by starting it, at least by drilling it. I'm feeling like I'll have less chance of splitting that split if I do it this way, hopefully. There we have it. Let's see how close I am. I'm very close with that Forstner bit. There's just a little bit of making that hole ever so slightly bigger. Switching to my spindle gouge, Cindy Drozda. So see that right there? What I'm going to do, I'm going to use that as a wedge to open it up. And then I'm going to put some CA down in there, pull the lid out and let it expand. I'll be right back after I'm finished doing it. Alright, so I put some CA down into the crack here. I'm using a slow cure CA. And now I'm going to pull the lid out, and that'll squeeze that up out of there. And then I'm going to take a little zip kicker, spray it on there, pinch this together nice and tight. Okay, there it goes. Alright, so I was able to stabilize the crack, and now I'm applying some finish. I burned in a little detailed burn line with my guitar string wire burnisher. Oops. Just a little bit of finish on that. Okay, and now turning up the speed right up around 2,000 RPM. That's going to finish on that. Okay, there we go. Put this back in and give this a final buffing as well. About 2,000 RPM. There we go. Now I'll be parting it off, and when I part it off, once I'm done with that process, I will also be sanding off the nub here and whatever nub's left on the bottom of the canister. But there it is. Okay. There we go. And there we go. Fully parted and finished. There it is. Then I'll just sand this little nub off. Same thing with the inside of the lid, and that'll be a finished Osage canister. There you go. Hey. So thanks, Uncle Genly. Here it is. Finished Osage canister. Came out real nice. It's got a nice fit. Little click fit. And it looks really nice. There you go. Finished canister.